Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If this is the very first time that you've discovered my channel, yay, you're here finally. I'm so glad. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thank you so much. I truly appreciate your support while I'm trying to grow this channel. So, as you know, but the newbies don't know, my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both sometimes watching a specific film. Am I right? Yeah. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Aporia. This intriguing sci fi drama released in theaters on August 11th and will be available on DVD on September 12th, 2023. The movie is rated R and it's an hour and 44 minutes. The overall movie review mom grade is a B plus. So I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, if there are any, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that I think you might also like. All right, you ready to dive in? So, in a nutshell, the story is about Sophie. Since losing her husband, she has struggled to manage her grief, a full time job, and parenting her devastated daughter. But when a former physicist friend reveals a secret time bending machine that could bring her back to her husband, Sophie is faced with an impossible choice for a chance at happiness again. The film was directed and written by Jared Moshe. Well done, Jared. Already, the film has been nominated for Best Film at the Fantasia Film Festival. So that's amazing. Congrats. It's also helpful to know that the word aporia means an irresolvable internal contradiction or logical disjunction in an argument or theory. Now, that's the definition from the Oxford Dictionary, but I think it's the perfect title for this film when you know what happens in this film. So let me give you some tips for parents. It is rated R, and honestly, I think young kids are going to be really bored. It's adults talking the entire movie, basically. There's profanity and a bunch of F-bombs. There's talk of a drunk driver who killed a man, and then there's some alcohol and cigarettes. So I think it's really the profanity. There's also talk of murdering other people, but we don't see the murder. So it's just a lot of talking per se. So I think it's the F-bombs that really drove it into the rated R category. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are the importance of family, the multiverse, sacrifice, the price of happiness, moral dilemmas, life and death, drunk drivers, memories, widows, and losing loved ones. All right, so there were a lot of things I really liked about this film. So let me tell you some of them. First of all, I have been a fan of Judy Greer for decades. She always gets roles as the best friend or some supporting character. So I am happy to announce that she is the lead in this movie, and she absolutely crushes it. All of the cast members did a really great job and include Edie Gathegi. I'm going to slaughter these names, so I apologize. Payman Mawadi and Faith Herman. Like a lot of films these days, this one tackles the human perspective of the multiverse. That's such a popular theme, don't you think? And I love time travel movies and loops, so you'll get a kick out of that. I love twists, and this movie forces you to think deeply about choices and their consequences. Most movies lately, I think, tell audience to do just whatever makes you happy, right? With no regard for responsibility or consequences. And so I really like this film because it explores those ideas deeper. The color palette in this movie looked a bit muted, which I thought was a really great choice because the story takes a look at reality and alternate realities. And you think of the real world as being bright color palette, right? Realistic. And so there was something, it just was a little bit muted enough to make the whole thing kind of feel like a dreamscape type of situation. The choices that these characters had to make weren't always super clear as well. And so I appreciate that the color palette illustrated that lack of clarity, so to speak. All right, now with all of that praise, there were just a few things that I didn't like or thought could have been done differently. For example, the mechanical contraption that the former physicists built just looks ridiculous. And maybe it's supposed to, I think it probably is, because they were building this in their garage, but it really did look ridiculous. The film completely glosses over the daughter's reaction to how her father is now alive. How is it determined who will have memories and who will not? It appears that she didn't. And so there are some plot holes like that that will probably drive you nuts if you try to think it through. So try not to overthink the story, and then you'll enjoy it. The film moves quite slowly. Some people wish it would pick up the pace a little bit. And I didn't feel a lot of chemistry between the leading couple, which is unfortunate. Although both of their acting was great. You know how just sometimes there's a spark and sometimes there's not. There was a rumor that this film was actually related to the fun Cloverfield franchise, but it's not. Both movies are somewhat suspenseful. Cloverfield is more of a monster, creepy, suspenseful thriller. This one is just more of an intriguing kind of a sci-fi psychological thriller. I don't know if I'd call it even a thriller. Anyway, comment down below after you watch the movie. Let me know what genre you would put this movie in. Now, whenever I watch movies, I write notes and I write down the lines that I think are funny or interesting, and I have them all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, but I'll share a couple of them with you right now. So first of all, the movie is not a comedy. So I didn't write down any funny lines. It's really a serious drama, and it is about serious issues. But there were some interesting lines, and actually one of them is spoken by Mal, who's played by Eddie Gathegi. And again, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but anyway, he says, maybe it's not about who you kill, but who you save. And that's one of the biggest moral dilemmas, is if you do this, someone dies. If you do that, someone lives. And there are so many ramifications. It's a puzzle you've got to keep straight in your mind. And that's part of the fun of the movie, honestly. So let me give you some recommendations for 3 movies that I instantly thought of that are sort of similar along these veins of time travel and loops and stuff. The first one is called The Butterfly Effect. That one came out in 2004. So if you haven't seen that one, it stars Ashton Kutcher, and I thought it was really interesting. The second one came out in 2009 and is kind of a classic, and it's also based on a best-selling novel called The Time Traveler's Wife. Really great performances and a really fun story as time loops back and forward, and you learn certain pieces of the story, different bits at a time, which is an interesting way of storytelling it. And then pretty soon you have all of the pieces and you go, oh, okay. I liked it. And then another more action twist on the whole looping idea is a movie called Looper that came out in 2012, and it's a lot of fun. And I always try to put myself in the character's situation of, what would I do if I could just loop into another time or loop into another location. Anyway, it's a lot of fun as well. So check those 3 out as well as this one. I hope you enjoy it like I did. And when you get a minute, click down below and you can learn about some of the perks of being a Movie Review Mom member. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.